Baseball, the great American game. The national pastime of millions, both young and old.
When the season changes to spring, but the weather hasn't got the memo yet, there's always one consistent event that gives you hope. Baseball season.
Good afternoon, baseball fans.
My earliest memory of baseball was in 1992, when my dad took me to a Blue Jays game at what was then called the Sky Dome.
Guzman, hard-throwing right-hander. Native of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic.
Juan Guzman was pitching against Jim Abbott,
a man born with no right hand.
Somewhere over there, I sat and watched Roberto Alomar steal second base, and then Dave Winfield hit a home run. I was hooked. A few months later, I high-fived both those guys as the city celebrated its first ever World Series championship. A year later, I lost my mind when Joe Carter did this.
Here's a pitch on the way, a swing and a belt, left field, way back, Blue Jays win it! The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run in the 9th inning, and the Blue Jays have repeated as World Series champions. Touch them all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run.
I didn't know it in that moment, but that feeling of joy and victory would be hard to come by again. The Jays wouldn't offer much to cheer about over the next 22 years. My personal life felt even worse. My parents divorced in 1996. My family was evicted from our apartment, and we lived in a homeless shelter for a month. And when I found someone who loved me, I pushed them away because I didn't know what to do with it. Before it was called the Rogers Center, before selfies at the game while the memory of Joe Carter faded and the Yankees were invincible, more than half of this building was empty every night, and reaching 82 wins seemed like too much to hope for. But in baseball, when your hitters can't hit a beach ball, when Ricky Romero is your best pitcher, and no matter how bad you got beat yesterday, you have to suck it up and keep going for 162 games, and eventually put together a team you can go to war with, a team that will endure the adversity with you. 23 years after Carter, on the last game of the season, Josh Donaldson did this. That's me. I was happy again. The Jays were the hottest team going into the playoffs, and I was getting married in 1 week. A few days later, while I was supposed to be preparing for my wedding, this guy brought me back here to watch a 14-inning game that the Jays lost. A week later, on my honeymoon in Italy, I set my alarm for 4 a.m. so I could secretly watch Game 5 on TV. I was caught and had to turn off the TV about an hour before this happened. I woke up to text that read something like, "OMG, did you see that? Unbelievable, I can't believe that just happened." After all the years, the Jays were competing for a championship again. I was getting married to my best friend and having a dream honeymoon in Italy. Fast forward to today.
I'm late. I hate being late.
All the struggles of yesterday, a reminder of where I come from. Victories, a reminder of what can be. Santa and I are back at the Rogers Center.
Birthday boy! Not you, him.
The Jays are playing the Yankees, and although there's hope today, we mourn the tragic death of Roy Halladay. He was quiet, intense, focused. You never really heard him say much, but when victory became rare in Toronto, every 5th day, the Doc walked out onto that mound to collect K's and W's. After an emotional tribute, it was time to look forward again. The best players still fail most of the time, so I'll try to remember that before I let a strikeout, a mistake, or even a loss define who I am. Thanks for the life lessons, baseball.
Let's go Blue Jays! Let's go Blue Jays!